Mission Pro Wrestling, the symbol of excellence in women's sports entertainment.
It is Mission Pro Spotlight. Hello, Mission Pro fam. I am Mindrunner, and with me is the sister of SmackDown's, the most deadly lady in the world, with the kendo stick flag. It is none other than Angel Marie. What's up?
Hey! Oh my gosh. I'm doing great. That pose is hilarious. The freaking, I did that because of Thunder.
Right? Yeah, that's the
I took that
Thunder
from Thunder.
pose. That is
Yes!
the Thunder Rosa pose. Not this one. It's there it is. All right, on three, Thunder Rosa pose. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2.
Ah! Very cool, very cool. Speaking of Thunder Rosa, we've got some Thunder Rosa awesome news. A lot of Thunder Rosa news coming up here on the Women's Wrestling News Network, if you will, program we have. Also,
Sure.
if you haven't had a chance to check it out, it went live on YouTube today. There was some people caught it on Twitter and Instagram last night, but another edition of the Shoot Squad panel where I hosted with Xenia, did that, and Thunder Rosa and the Black Dahlia. We talked about mental health, dealing with injuries, dealing with trolls, and just methods of maintaining self-care. So please check it out. Please share it. It is a very honest chat. I mean, we do have some fun, but it's a very brutally honest chat about dealing with those things in the wrestling industry, specifically from the perspective of a female wrestler. Definitely check it out. But we got some awesome sauce tonight, of course, at the top of the hour. Joining us at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. We're going to be putting the show on Cruz Control as Carolina Cruz is going to be cruising on in, and all kinds of other stuff. But other than that, Angel Marie, how the heck are you?
I'm doing great. I cannot wait to freaking recap all the stuff that happened in women's wrestling, because this is kind of like been a busy week, not in the best way in some ways, and then in a really great way in other ways. So it's gonna be spicy.
Absolutely, it's gonna be spicy. There are some spicy topics that got the IWC a little fired up, and there's definitely some controversial. Of course, we like to keep it positive here at Mission Pro Spotlight, but there's definitely some controversial topics that are making their way through the news. So without further ado, let's get to the women's wrestling news. I still need to talk to whoever put that in there about the gringo sauce. Mine likes gringo sauce. I don't know who that was. Somebody in production, perhaps.
It was me. I mean, what? Oh, wow.
Totally wasn't me.
Wow.
Totally couldn't have been me. Not at all. Anywho, a lot of cool stuff, but the top of the news here, if you don't know already, the Pro Wrestling Illustrated 250, the top 250 women's wrestlers, it came out in the latest issue, and we've got some highlights, of course, at the number 1 spot, timeless Toni Storm. Number 2, the juggernaut herself, Jordynne Grace. Rhea Ripley, number 3. Maika from Japan is number 4. Number 5, Stephanie Vaquer. We're going to talk about her debut match next to you in a little bit. And the former, I'm not sure what they were going for in NXT with Sari, but she's back. Sarai. She's back in Japan.
I believe.
Yeah, I think they were going with some kind of schoolgirl thing before, but she's now back in Japan, getting in as 6th place. Your thoughts on the top 6 so far? What do you think? Well deserved? Is there somebody missing you think should have been up there?
Yeah, definitely. I do not know Maika or Sarai, but I think that they deserve it because I haven't really gotten a chance to watch like a lot of like Japanese wrestling, which I
Mhm.
should make time for that, honestly. But no, I think that it is deserved. Tony Storm has been killing it as of lately. Like she's awesome. And then same thing with Jordan and Rhea and Stephanie. They are all killing it. I think this is well deserved for all of them.
Yeah, and I think this is a good representation of where women's wrestling is hot right now. Now, granted, the number one spot, Tony Storm. I mean, let's be honest. This has been Tony's year. She has gone above and beyond light years with this timeless Tony Storm character. Number two, though, you can't argue against Jordan Grace. Jumping on NXT, that pop she got at the Royal Rumble. She's crushing it. We're going to talk in a little bit. She's got Masha Slamovich coming up on her radar. Damon, I do like 153 Abaddon. I think Abaddon should permanently have 187. You know, the 187 murder number. I think it would be awesome for Abaddon to permanently just have, but 153 Abaddon's up there. Also, we've got some notables, of course. I did put 4, 5, 6 up there. Willow Nightingale at 8. At 9, Mariah May. And number 10, Athena. You can't not put Athena on here because, you know, would you agree that she's kind of been carrying the ROH women's division, is not the whole ROH on her shoulders?
Yeah, I'm surprised how her back has not broken yet. That's like she has been carrying it by far. So she definitely deserves number 10.
What about Willow and Mariah May? You think they're deserving of being in the top 10?
Oh, them as well. They've been really crushing it. And freaking Mariah, like the whole thing with Mariah and Tony, like that absolutely killed it. So I wasn't surprised to see Mariah at number 9 since Tony was at number 1.
Exactly. I think this represents the women's division as a whole, the women's wrestling landscape very well. I was very impressed to see a lot of names that were not listed last year on there. Also, really cool to see La Princesa at 146, Tiffany Nieves. She's continuing. I predict she's going to be in double digits next year. I think she's going to continue to climb. We'll talk a little bit later why I think so, but Tiffany Nieves there. But also, as I'm reading through the whole thing, I get all the way to the last number, and who do I see? None other than Mission Pro Spotlight's own Nahir Robles, La Chica de la Ola, the Princess of Pagao. So stoked to see that. In fact, I had the pleasure of being the first to let her know. I'd sent her a message, and I said, "Congratulations." She's like, "For what?" And then she proceeded to go to the moon, and it's so cool. Aww. So cool to see Nair on in the 250. And this is, again, all of the ladies here. I'm not going to take away from any of them, but what really makes me stoked about Nair is she has really worked extremely hard. She's been putting in the work. She's been, relentless at getting matches under her belt. She's been training hard. And if this was any validation, that if she needed any validation that this is her gig, I hope that this was enough for her, because she's only been, she's gone from being kind of a spokesmodel, interviewer. Now she's wrestling, kind of like some other former interviewers that are now wrestlers. I think there's a BFF we know that's done that, and you never know, there might be a co-host of a spotlight show someday that might turn into a deadly wrestler, if you will.
Possibly.
Super stoked for Nair and super excited. Excellent. But, again, we would get sued if we could go through the entire list with you, but you got to definitely check it out. And, let us know in the comments, is there anybody that was left out that should have been in there? Is there anybody in there that was a lot higher than you thought? Is there anybody that's lower than you thought? Let us know. But overall, would you agree, Angel? Is this a pretty cool list? Pretty accurate? so far? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But being a a lot biased, I think RBFF should have been at number one. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Oh, breaking news!
No,
Breaking
but
news! Breaking news, by the way, Angel Maria. We'll get to your question in a second.
Mhm.
Damon has actually he gets the extra edition. He pays a little extra to get the extra edition of PWI, and he has confirmed Damon in the Facebook chat that Angel Marie is 251. Congratulations, Angel
wow.
Marie. Well deserved. You're going to give you the thunder.
Oh my
Congratulations.
gosh.
Thank you, Damon, for that.
Wow.
Very, very happy.
Wow.
Very happy. So, very good. Oh, and Brian, Mr. C is in the chat, ranking Tiffany that low is a crime. I gotta agree. I was a little surprised at how low, but I think this is going to, if anything, drive Tiffany for next year. I guarantee she's going to be in double digits, if not in the top 10.
For sure.
And I got some reasons why coming up, but I didn't mean to cut you off because that was some hot news,
You're okay.
a hot scoop. But your thoughts about the top 250?
Yeah, no, I thought that it was really great because there was some Mission Pro alumni on there too. I know I saw Maya World, I saw Danny Mo, and real quick, I want to make my little acceptance speech here. Thank you to everyone on the PWI board for ranking me at 250. I'm not even a wrestler, so I don't even know how that happened. I do color guard though, but I don't know how I even got on the 251. But I am super honored. Thank you to all of my fans out there. I love you all.
Well, I mean, very, very interesting. I'm not sure about the evaluation period. I'm not briefed on all that.
No.
Somebody must have been watching at those Mission Pro shows and maybe was watching how lethal you are in the color guard. We do have some questions. Where is Rosemary? I actually Rosemary on there, which that is kind of and it's weird too because they did kind of try to explain the observation period. I'm not sure, and like Mercedes Monet wasn't listed either because there's like a minimum of matches you have to have, and it's just August to August. Black Swan also. What about Black Swan?
Oh,
that's another one.
Right.
Black Swan's another one I definitely want to keep our eye out for. But anyways, love it or hate it, really happy. A lot of Mission Pro alumni on there. A lot of our favorite peoples on there. And again, so stoked about number 250. And of course, number 251. Speaking of which, and news. In Thunder Roast news, we have some awesome sauce. Is Thunder Rosa is now officially, and I knew this was going to happen. I knew it. She is the Riot Cabaret champion. And if you're not sure, Riot Cabaret is something very new. The way I can describe it is it's kind of like if you kind of did Cirque du Soleil. I don't know, maybe that's not even it. It's basically like rock and wrestling or showtime in wrestling, if that makes any sense. Living like Thunder Rosa, Living La Vida Loca. That was she busted it out, and of course Thunder Rosa.
I love that.
Riot Cabaret champion. Definitely would try to check it out if you can. I'm not sure if she can defend this, perhaps in the United States. That would be awesome to see. I wonder what you let us know in the chat. Who do you think she should defend that against? What singing, dancing sensation should Taylor Swift call her out?
Ooh! I was gonna say I have a really, really smart idea. You know what? So this person may or may not have gotten their match stolen by Thunder at one point at Mission Pro. So you know what? I might have to bust out the vocal cords, and I might have to face Thunder, be a singing and dancing competitor.
Oh, look out, Thunder! Courtney's not having Taylor Swift. So, yeah, I think we need number 251. We need her in the in the mix there versus Thunder. Look out, Thunder! Angel Marie's coming for your Riot Cabaret title. Also, kind of a cool thing is Thunder got to meet with the Mexico ambassador in the UK, and she got honored with a diploma from there, and really cool moment for her representing. And Miss Blanco went on to talk about how wrestling, the culture of wrestling. She made a really great statement on Twitter. I probably should have put that up there too, but I wanted the picture on there about how wrestling is much more than just entertainment. How it allows to share culture and diversity, and that's one of the things that we celebrate in wrestling. And it's a great opportunity for people to celebrate who they are in wrestling. We've got there's such a wide variety of backgrounds and cultures of people in wrestling, and the one thing they all speak is everybody speaks suplex. So that's kind of one of the things there. So that was really cool. Congratulations, Thunder. But Angel Marie, she's bringing the kendo flag, so be careful. Okay, let's talk a little bit about so tell us about Lash Legend and Jakara is coming out, Jakara Jackson, and their entrance gets interrupted by, go ahead, take it away.
By Kevin Owens. I didn't even know about this until I got on my phone after halftime, because I had a little halftime performance. And the first thing I see when I get on Instagram is somebody absolutely going off, being like, this was absolutely terrible, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, whoa, back up a minute. What happened? Give me some context. So I go back and I look, and yeah, Metaphor was coming out, Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson. They were having their grand debut on SmackDown. And then Kevin rolls in the ring and he's like, wait, I'm so sorry, guys, but I really have to say this right now. And I'm like, really? You had to say it that badly? You couldn't have waited like another 10 minutes? You had to speak your truth during their entrance? I was like, that's kind of weird. And then apparently they go on to face Jade and Bianca, right? For the titles. Yep. In the match only, I don't remember the exact time, but I remember it was somewhere along the lines of 2 to 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's a huge slap in the face. But I will say, the girls definitely made use of the time. They showed off during that 2 to 5 minutes. Absolutely. But that was just, sucked. For lack of better words, that sucked.
Do you think it was a booking thing, like a timing thing? Did Kevin Owens kind of eat up their match time, and so they had to rush the match?
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
I mean, I'm not sure. A lot of people are saying are upset because they're saying this sends a very bad message to how WWE sees their women's division, especially the tag team women's division. And Mercedes Moné and Trinity, when Naomi and and then Sasha Banks were the tag team champions, and they had that whole thing where they felt like they weren't being treated. Do you feel like the tag team championships are being treated as an afterthought, or do you think they're being well respected? Do you think this was just an oopsie, or do you think this deserves a little more scorn than it's gotten?
It's at one point the tag titles did seem really big, and definitely on Jade and Bianca, they make the tag titles seem prestigious. But the way that it's booked, they do not seem prestigious. It's kind of bad. It's getting bad again. So I don't know.
I don't think we've seen the last of this matchup. I do predict we're going to see. We're going to see a rematch. You got to, and I'm loving Metaphor. They're actually becoming perhaps they're almost surpassing my love for Jade and Bianca, and that says a lot because I like their
that's
gimmick.
A lot.
I like their gimmick, I like a good kind of happy, kind of confident team like them. So we'll see. We also did see the debut of Stephanie Vaquer. awesome match. Our girl, Maddie Rinkowski, also known as Ren Sinclair, did a fantastic job. Unfortunately, Stephanie was a little too much for her. Actually, a lot too much. But it was a great match. If you had a chance to go check it out. But the aftermath is what we want to talk about. Of course, Cora Jade and Roxy jump Stephanie after the match. Who comes in for the save? But Julia. Julia comes in, and then Julia and Stephanie lead the beat down. Cora and Roxy slide out, and they're all, like running away like scalded dogs. And Stephanie issues the challenge. Halloween Havoc. Julia, Stephanie versus Cora, Roxy. Angel, your thoughts?
This match is going to be absolutely fire.
Yes.
This may be what is the quote? Oh, this may be the greatest wrestling match of all time.
Careful now. Don't use that kind of hyperbole. You never know what might happen. But Pepe, of course, is Halloween Havoc's going to be wild. Drop a couple of fire emojis in the chat. How fired do you think Halloween Havoc's going to be? That match was amazing. Yes, I mean Stephanie Vacour is so great to watch. And she's going to be great. This 2-on-2 is going to be interesting. Of course, the aftermath will be interesting as well. I think we're going to then start to see Stephanie and Julia maybe fight a little bit. Who knows? But
for sure,
I'm stoked for it. I think it's going to be tremendous, and I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be fantastic when we see these four ladies lock up. Going to be very cool. I do want to just briefly, I want to run through some of the other notables on NXT. Tatum Paxley getting interrupted during her playtime. That was kind of interesting. And of course, returning. We had Lola Vice is kind of getting into it too. But what of these four topics, what did you want to talk about the most?
I may or may not be a little bit biased to say Tatum Paxley.
Yes.
But yeah, I was like, that was super disrespectful. Like, Jada's just like, excuse me. Like, excuse me. That was her playtime. What the heck? You do not mess with Tatum's playtime, because now Tatum is probably gonna hurt Jada.
Yeah, I think that you don't interrupt playtime. You do not do that.
No.
You do not interrupt playtime. Yeah. Nikita Lyons, of course, returned. Lola Vice getting some shenanigans involved. Just for time, I want to move on because I do want to talk about Raw a little bit here. We had, of course, the women's division was going crazy here. We had Tiffany Stratton, and you had Liv Morgan, you had Rhea Ripley, you had Nia Jax coming out and interfering, causing all kinds of chaos. Nia Jax getting hit by Rhea Ripley, fighting back, and then Nia Jax not taking out Liv Morgan, knocking her completely out, and then she turns to Tiffany Stratton. She's like use the dang Money in the Bank.
Hello.
Tiffany Stratton's just like, oh, thank you, that's so cool. And Nia's like, use the briefcase, hello. And of course, who comes in but the Rat himself, Dominic Mysterio, pulls her out. Way to go. But I love the dynamic here. I kind of like the Nia Jax Tiffany Stratton dynamic a little bit. Not completely the same, but shades of Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss from a long time ago. That dynamic that they had a long time ago. Not quite the same, but definitely.
No, but I see it.
Yeah, it's Chicken Tendies Dom with the save. You're right. Old Chicken Tendies himself. Also, just really quickly, some AEW news. Mariah May not happy with the AEW post Wrestle Dream scrum. I mean, she had one question from the media. It was kind of weird. I know that some of the folks were kind of, they were upset about Bryan Danielson, what Moxley and them are doing, but it was, I kind of sided with Mariah. That was kind of a weak media scrum. I know that if Angel Marie and Mindrunner were there, we would have had the hard-hitting questions. We would have been there asking all kinds of cool stuff. But what's interesting is at this point, Mariah May has very limited options left. She's beat a lot of the possible competitors. Of course, Anna Jay steps up. Mariah May goes to social media, and of course, torches. It has to put a little sarcasm, like, OMG, it's Stardom legend Anna Jay, which, of course, Mariah May is from Stardom before, and, she's making fun of Anna Jay's recent vacation, her trip to Japan. But then Thunder Rosa posted today, and she's now, she took the flight all the way from UK. Now she's in Stockton ready for Collision. So we might see Thunder Rosa pay Mariah May a visit at Collision. So we'll have to see what's going on there. At TNA, a couple things. One, Heather Reckless. Ash by Elegance has given her a makeover. But the big news is on October 26th, Jordan Grace, Masha Slamovich. This is going to be brutal. Masha Slamovich, Jordan Grace. Who do you got? Do you think the Juggernaut's going to retain? Or do you think Masha's going to mop the floor with her?
I mean, Masha fought a bear. But Jordan's the Juggernaut, bro. She's defeated how many people at this point? Of course Jordan's going to win. I mean, I'll give credit to Masha. Masha's going to give her a hard time. But I think Jordan's going to win in the end.
The one interesting little segment they had is they got into Masha's locker room, and she's got X's through all the TNA superstars except Jordan's the only one she has yet to defeat. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that works. Really quickly, our Izzy report. Izzy's got coming up on the October 26th, the Ring of Horrors at Hybrid. She's defending the Mission Pro title against London Dior. And then Ladies Night Out 14, she's defending the Mission Pro title. Last year at Ladies Night Out 13, she was challenging for it. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how full circle. Our guest that's coming up in about a minute or so, maybe we can see that guest show up at Ladies Night Out and might have something to say to old Izzy there. Maybe give her a little run for the gold there. So we'll have to see. And to the quote of the week: "Any dream is possible if you are brave enough to do it your way." AJ Mendez. Want to talk about banger of the week, but we've got we can get to that actually after we bring in our special guest, because is that the police? Do I hear the police cars? They can't. I know they can't. No, there's all.
Are they for me?
They're chasing somebody. I don't know if they're going full throttle here, but I think
what the heck?
Oh, they can't catch, because nobody can catch our guest coming up right now, because not even Dom Toretto can beat our guest at this time. Hello, we are on Cruz Control. What is up, Carolina Cruz? Welcome to the Spotlight. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I love that introduction video. That was great.
Very cool. Very cool. And I know that Dom Toretto and everybody, they're recruiting you for their Fast and Furious teams there, but nobody can catch, the Carolina Cruz. Even when you're in Cruise Control, you are fire. Excellent. We're so happy to have you here. So excited. We loved seeing you show up at Mission Pro and give old Rochelle Chanel almost taking her title, her ROW title. Maybe a rematch should happen very soon, I'm thinking. But
yes,
awesome stuff. Thank you so much for being there. We hope to have you back when Mission Pro returns in 2025. We are excited we would love to have you come back. And definitely, Izzy's out there defending her title. She's getting that confidence. Maybe she needs somebody to cruise on in at ladies' night and say, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, I think that'll be the perfect time for me to, make a little pit stop and show her who's tough.
Show her who's tough. Exactly. Well, for the Mission Pro family, they know you. They got to see you at our Midsummer Bash. However, Midsummer Blast. Sorry, but those that aren't as familiar with you, or maybe they knew you under a different name at some other company, we have this thing called Instant Insanity, and we totally didn't rip this off of Sean Evans with Hot Ones, but we took a deep dive into your Instagram to give us some background on certain pictures. Now, tasteful pictures, of course, but tasteful pictures from your Instagram, and want to hear the full story from you. So without further ado, JR, take it away.
Cloud code, it's Insta Insanity.
All right, here we go. Insta Insanity, and right off the bat, check this badass out. So who is this? And who is this badass that's just wrecking fools and scoring tries here?
Okay, so this was me in college. This is Emma Diaz. I was a rugby player and a amateur wrestler at the same time. I was a dual sport athlete. And it definitely prepared me for my pro wrestling career for sure.
Wait, so hold on a second. Rugby and wrestling.
Yes.
Whoa.
And actually, wrestling helped me be a better rugby player, and rugby helped me be a better wrestler. So they kind of really went hand in hand.
What are some of the similarities with rugby? I know that you do the scrum. Is that what it's called? The where you go arm in arm, and then you have to rip each other's ears off or something. I don't know. There's something. Something, I don't know. Rugby just so violent.
I actually I played in the back row, so I was never really in the scrum. I was on the outside of the scrum, so I was like the first person to kind of like be released from the scrum. And my job was pretty much to like be the attacker and like make that first tackle, you know what I mean, cause that first breakdown. So I was glad to not really be in the scrum because I liked more open play and stuff like that.
I don't blame you. We had a rugby team at my college, and I tried out for the team. And I saw one of the number one players on our team. He when he smiled at me, he was missing 2 of his teeth, and I said, "Oh, okay. I think maybe I'll try. I don't know. I'll try chess club or something." I don't know about that. Super badass.
I always had my lashes and my hair done during rugby season. It was hard, but like I always had that, aspect to me. So, pro wrestling is great because I get to be, still a bad ASS, but also pretty at the same time.
Hey, don't let the lashes fool you. Don't let the pretty face fool you. And it looks like the chat is completely in agreement. You are officially a badass. Do not mess with, but badass with a pretty face, which definitely translates to your wrestling character, which in your wrestling year, which is fantastic. Sucker for a pretty face. Here's 2 suckers for pretty faces. We got this very kind of so ugly he's cute animal leaning on you. And there's a dog. Let's. So this. I felt like this was such an endearing. Is this the fam?
Yes, this is the fam. That's Milo. His name is Milano, but we call him Milo almost all the time. And then that's my boyfriend Brian Pillman Jr. And that's our little family, the best family. We also have another dog back in Cincinnati. Her name is Stormy. And she's like a really big Catahoula but we can't have her here because we live in like a 1-bedroom apartment, so we just have Milo here with us.
Well, Milo looks like he's having the time of his life. Or is
Yes.
it her? Is it him or her? Did you say
No, it's a him.
him? He looks like he's the most comfortable. Look at him just chilling like that. Now, do you let Lexus King, or Brian go out of the house with those sideburns like that, or is that his choice? Or
that beard is none of my business.
Everybody's falling in love with Milo, by the way. Everybody's loving that. Very cool, very cool. Came across this clip. Do you know any of these ladies in this clip? And I think now you can't see him, but I believe John Cena was addressing these NXT hopefuls.
Yes. So this picture was actually taken at or the day of WrestleMania, before the show actually started. So we got to walk around backstage and kind of see, what we were actually getting into, becoming, a WWE superstar. And John Cena was telling us, what it takes and all the advice and stuff. And it was honestly like crazy, such a fulfilling day, a dream come. And these are the other 2 women that I actually started training at the Performance Center with, Brianna Covington and Olena.
What was going through your head in this picture right here?
Well, I looked pretty serious, pretty determined, like I was contemplating my life choices at this point. But yeah, no, I will say that I was just focused and trying to really tune in on what he was saying, for sure.
So here's a rugby player and wrestler now showing up in NXT, and now you're like, what did I do?
Yes.
Angel, you had a question, right?
Yeah, so speaking of rugby and NXT, if you had to pick one person from NXT to be on your rugby team, who would you pick?
Joe Coffey.
Good pick. Good pick. Who would you absolutely, no shade, but who would you absolutely not want on your rugby team?
That's a good one.
I mean, kayfabe, I'm sure. It sounds like you got along with everybody, but it's.
I would not want. I don't know. There's so many athletic people in WWE. I'm like, who would I not want?
So you would to Joe Coffey. Let's add 2 more to the team. Joe Coffey and who?
Rich Holland.
There you go, and one more.
All right, let's pick a girl.
Yeah, what girl would have that, would be able to hold her own in rugby?
I think Kalani Jordan.
It's interesting. I was thinking
like, she's tough.
She definitely is tough. I was thinking Wendy Chu would be good in the scrum.
Oh yeah.
Maybe, of course, she might put a spell on him or something. I don't.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. All right, and came across this. Now, this is cheating. I got 2 pictures here, but it's from the same set.
Yes.
What's going on here?
So here I was making like little protein muffins, and I just posted the recipe to help out, any other people that are looking for a little sweet snack but want to keep it healthy. Because I'm not only a pro wrestler. I like to cook, I like to clean, I like to make a bunch of videos. I'm pretty much like also a lifestyle content creator.
Very cool.
So yeah, that's what this photo is.
Right.
And I should probably focus on one niche, but I don't know. I don't like to do that.
Why? No, you be multi-talented. You got to be a Renaissance woman. You got to be out there.
Yes.
I saw recently you redecorated your closet, and you had Mr. Handyman himself build you a Target shelf.
Yeah, he's so good at building things. I literally, I got a new vanity and I opened the box and I saw a million of pieces and I was like, Okay, yeah, I'm not even gonna touch this.
All right, I got to ask Angela. Angela, looking at this muffin, would you try a Carolina Cruz signature protein muffin? Looks like peanut butter and mocha. Ooh, peanut butter mocha, almost like a Reese's cup, you think?
Yeah, I would 10 out of 10 for sure try that. That looks good. That
Oh,
looks so good.
I
I
was
would
about
try it.
to say you could say no.
No, it looks amazing, girl. I would definitely try it. I love freaking baked goods too, so like that'd be perfect.
If it tastes anything close to a Reese's cup, I would try it. Looks like the chat would try it. Bobby says
He would
he
try
would
it.
try this muffin. Courtney in the chat has a Halloween related question. We can jump in this one really quick. What are you going to be for Halloween?
Oh,
And are you
should
going
I?
to tag team it with Brian, or is it going to be?
I am. How about we let the chat guess what we're gonna be?
Oh, all right. You're gonna chat. You're gonna
I'll
have
give
to
you a
guess.
hint. So it's part of Disney.
Ooh, part of Disney. Is Wednesday Addams part of Disney? No, right?
No.
No. Oh, part of Disney. All right, guess in the chat. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think that Carolina and Brian are going to be? You're both going to be from the same movie or
Yes.
thing. All right, so keep guessing in the chat. Disney owns everything. Yep, yeah, that's apparently. But Disney isn't always
I
fun
want to
and games.
guess.
Disney
Yeah,
isn't
I
always
want to
fun and
guess.
games. Go ahead,
Loki.
Angel.
Yeah, sorry. Loki. I want to guess. For some reason, I don't know why. I'm getting compelled to think Belle and Beast.
Bella and Beast.
No.
No. Oh man. Hey, yo,
Something
where's the
a
try?
little more dark.
Hulk and She-Hulk.
Oh.
Anna and Olaf from Frozen. That would be, Beetlejuice and Lydia from I guess from Beetlejuice. I'm gonna go with one of their classics. I think you're gonna be. I think I'm gonna go with the classic Snow White and the Prince.
No.
No,
But that would have been good. I even have the black hair for the Snow White.
that could have, or yeah, that could have been, would have been cool. But Jack Skellington and Corpse Bride. No, that's Tim Burton.
All right, we're gonna be from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, very nice. Now,
Jack Sparrow and a pirate.
very cool. Jack Sparrow and not Emma Swan, or are you going to be like Calypso, or
I'm gonna be just like a pirate, like a female Jack Sparrow.
Mr. and Mrs. Sparrow? Brian says Ren and Stimpy. I don't. That would be a good one. Everybody loves that. That's going to be awesome. Are you going to get the Jack Sparrow like, hello, lass? Are you going to be giving me candy, snubby?
Brian is so excited to act out like Jack Sparrow. Like that's what he's excited for. Not even to dress up, but to act like Jack Sparrow.
Let's hear your best Jill Sparrow.
Oh boy, no.
Or can you speak pirate? Let's hear you speak pirate. Cut a promo on Jack Sparrow saying you're coming for his booty.
Oh my goodness.
Say R, Jack Sparrow. Yeah.
R is all I got.
Hey, you know what? That's enough. That's perfect. Just R.
Yes.
That's perfect.
I'll let Brian do the acting.
There you go. You can just be like the tough backup. Be like,
yes.
But it's not always fun and games at the most wonderful place on earth. I understand that Mickey has some childhood trauma with you.
Yeah, so my grandparents, they used to take me to Disney like every single year. That was like the one thing that they would always do with me. But I hated the characters when I was like a baby. And my grandpa would be like telling my grandma, why are you traumatizing her? Like, why do you keep bringing her back here? She hates it. And my grandma's like, no, she's going to love it one day. And then I eventually did love it one day. So she kept bringing me back, and then it was something that just we would do every single year. And now it's like me and Brian went to Disney recently for the first time, and like now I get to share those special moments with him. And like I definitely want to take my future family to Disney every single year and make that a thing, because I don't know, it was like my way of escaping like my childhood, you know what I mean? Like not really escaping, because my childhood was fine, but like, you know, it was the fun part of my childhood.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of fun. On the right there, like the fact your grandma was just cracking. Is that your grandmother in that picture?
Yeah.
She's just cracking up. I don't blame you though. You know, when I was that age, I was afraid of. It was a character from McDonald's, the Birdie the Early Bird. I don't know if you remember her, but she scared me. I had nightmares about her flying around my window, going, "Oh, you had breakfast." You know, that kind of. I can understand. And, you know, somebody came up with Five Nights at Freddy's for a reason. I'm sure we all have a little bit of PTSD. Did any of the PTSD come out when you and Brian went recently?
No. Not at all.
Donald Duck is the coolest. I don't know. I beg to differ. I don't know. Goofy's kind of the big celebrity now.
I know.
The
I
Goofy
still am a
movie.
Mickey Minnie fan.
Well, I could tell. I love the mini headband at the top. Is that? Have you ever considered a Mickey or Minnie themed gear?
No, not at all. Because I feel like, I don't know, my character and stuff, who I am in the ring is like so different from like my Disney like personal life. You know what I mean? I'm like two separate things.
Got
My
it.
Fast and Furious phase came later.
Speaking of Fast and Furious, I thought that this photo set was really awesome, but it also seemed like there was a message behind this. Was this a photo shoot, and where did you choose that mural specifically?
So actually, I don't know if anyone has heard of Wynwood in Miami. It's basically like a kind of downtown area where it's all the walls are like graffiti walls. So I was just downtown with my friends, and like we just took pictures like in front of like the cool like art. I wasn't really focused on like the messages or anything like that, just more of like the background and, you know what I mean, the fashion part of it.
No, cool. I mean, very cool. I mean, you know, look at you. You're here, Malcolm X, Abraham Lincoln, and Carolina Cruz. You know, there you go. Three badasses.
Yeah. There we go. That's the message.
Three badasses. And representing, of course. Now let me ask you this: does Savannah have the best cigars? Is that a myth, or is that fact?
No, it's definitely fact. Like cigars are definitely a staple in the Cuban culture for sure. Like I definitely the guys in my family definitely smoked cigars like growing up. You know what I mean? That's like a thing.
What are we missing out at people that have yet to go to Cuba or experience Havana? What are we missing out on in the Cuban culture? And
I will say, the one thing that kind of stands out to everybody that kind of goes to Cuba for the first time is how grateful the people are, even though they have like nothing, not even half of what we have. And they're like the happiest, most loving, grateful people on this earth. And then it makes people literally want to leave like all their money, all their belongings, like with these people that have nothing and that are so like grateful and happy.
There seems to be a happy vibe, you know, and it's, you know, that a little bit that would be fantastic. Somebody says, "I love the braided hair." Ooh,
thank you. I used to love braiding my hair back in the day, but I kind of stopped because I wanted to take care of my natural hair a little more. So no more braids.
No more braids. Sorry, Pepe. No more braids, at least for a while. You never know. Maybe down the line something will happen. Maybe there'll be a hair versus braids match or something that we could that you'll have. So now rugby badass, wrestling badass is now unleashed on the independent scene, as well as just unleashed everywhere there's wrestling. What is next for Carolina Cruz, and where do you see women's wrestling now compared to where it's been?
What do you mean? Like where?
Well, like as accepted now, like where in the past, and maybe this is more of a women's sports question. Like, you know, are we getting to a point where women's sports are much more accepted in society? And because there's people talk about WNBA. People used to call the women's matches in wrestling the popcorn matches. Where I mean, I've never thought that, but the women are in a lot of cases are putting the men to shame in some of these matches. I remember one of the first independent shows I went to. There was one women's match, but they killed it. They stole the whole show.
Yeah, I think honestly it's like forcing, the women to kind of have a chip on their shoulder, like being doubted for so long, and then you underestimate them, and now they're raising the bar for everybody across the board. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, like, look at the NXT women's division. It is so good. I literally love watching NXT every Tuesday because the women are literally amazing, and they have almost the same amount of matches as the men every Tuesday. That's like one of it's so fair and it's so good. And that's the one thing that I really love about NXT and what Sean is doing down there, because the women are killing it. And I wish that everywhere else was like that.
I hope they use that as an example. I mean, Angel, you and I talk about NXT a lot. Angel, I'll just ask you this again. Do you still feel that the NXT women's division is the top women's division in all of wrestling right now?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. My phone wasn't working for a second. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I definitely do. Every single week, whenever I watch wrestling, NXT always stands out to me as having the best women's division by far. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. Now, if they would do that everywhere else too, that'd be perfect, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, and to know that I even, got to be in the ring with some of those girls and, debut on live events with them and learn from them and train with them is like so humbling too.
It's almost like, and it's, to me, it's almost like I want to scream, duh. If you give the ladies time and let their storylines develop and give them that time on the screen and give them the time to learn with each other and get better. And another thing too that I know AEW used to do this, but I don't know if they allow it as much. But let your talent go do indie shows as well. I know you don't want to get injured, but the more experience, that to me, I feel like the NXT women's division dominates NXT, and that's a good thing because they're very entertaining. But it also, to me, is an example of, if you give compelling characters that are compelling in the ring, that can tell a story and entertain, you give them the shine. The gender doesn't matter. It's fantastic. And they just added Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, and Delta's coming. I don't know if at some point do you think we might see a Emma Diaz show up or something like that, or I don't know.
That's the goal. That is literally the goal, to get so good on the indies, get so much experience that I can work back there.
Were you excited though? I mean, did you see going to the indies as an opportunity? I mean, were you bummed, or was it more like, okay, here we go, I'm going to show everybody?
It was definitely more like a here we go, because I knew nothing about pro wrestling last year. Like before last June, I knew nothing about pro wrestling. So, I had my tryout, I was given an opportunity, and then I learned what pro wrestling was, and then I fell in love with it all in 1 year. Yeah. So I was just motivated. I didn't even know what the indies were a year ago or a year and a half ago,
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's amazing to see that so many people love pro wrestling and they go and they chase their dream on the indies, so that's it's my turn to do that now. And to also, I feel like it's great because they brought me in as a athlete, and now I can get the indie experience. So, I'm not just the athlete, I'm also the indie wrestler.
Yes.
And I feel in NXT, you either have the indie wrestlers like Ren Sinclair
Hmm.
coming in, or you have the athletes coming in that know nothing about pro wrestling, or maybe they do. Usually they do, some, don't. They learn pro wrestling there, and then they learn to love it. But I would do both.
What
I
can
was
you
like getting lost. I'm like,
no? Can you pinpoint the moment though where the bug got you, where the wrestling bug bit you, like when you're like, this is cool.
um,
And
hmm.
we're not talking about a certain Mr. Pillman Jr. or
I
anything
w-
like.
yeah, no, I will say when, I started having fun with it and started like, adding what I love, which is like car racing and the whole Fast and Furious stuff, like, and mixing it all together, like mixing my athletic ability with, the whole character stuff. Like, that's when it was like, this is cool. Like,
Nice, awesome, and you do a lot of like you talk about also being an influencer a little bit here. You're cutting some
mhm.
really cool like do it yourself or at home videos that are really cool.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we're gonna we'll put your socials up here in a moment, but check out the Instagram is always popping. Your TikTok, you got your and the one thing that's interesting. Do you think you eventually might start cutting some promos for some of your upcoming matches? Like, will we start to see Carolina Cruz? And maybe we could get a cameo of Vin Diesel or somebody to show up, or The Rock, could show up and
Yes, literally. It's so cool that, he works in the WWE platform and he was a part of like a lot of those movies. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that I would love. That would definitely be a dream.
the Fast and Furious, The Rock, Carolina Cruz,
Mm,
in Too Fast and Oh So Furious. That would be pretty. That would be pretty awesome. What do you have your sights set on? Do you have an upcoming opponent that you're itching to take on? Is there a title? I mean, I know the Mission Pro wrestling title looks pretty awesome, pretty sparkly.
yes, it definitely does. But I will say, like, I feel like I need to come to Mission Pro a few more times before I can really earn my title shot.
Gotcha.
I'll be like that.
Let's get some more W's in the Mission Pro books before we go there.
Right. Yeah.
There might be some people, some Mission Pro talent that might need to be taken down a peg or two.
Yeah.
I know Angel Marie's good friend Callion Tita. Sometimes she might be a little too spicy for her
Mhm.
own good. And
Yes.
maybe Nair Robles, who just got in the 250, the PWI 250. She was number 250.
Yeah, I'm actually heading to Puerto Rico on October 27th. I won't be facing her. I'll be facing the champ, but
Yeah, you
he's a
never know.
familiar face.
You never know. Nair, Miss Ola. Now, do you as she talks about Pigal versus Con? Are you familiar with that? It has to do with rice. Some of it, I think it's like dirty rice versus good rice. I don't know. Just tell her your team Con, and she'll know what you mean, and that might lead to a few.
Okay.
All right, question. What is hard? What hurts more? Getting hit in rugby or taking a bump?
Taking a bump.
I notice a lot of ladies when they're after a match, they're always holding the back of their necks. Is that where the most impact is?
It's honestly all over. I like wrestling is the most painful thing that I have done. And I've played rugby, I've been an amateur wrestler, I've been a gymnast, I've been a cheerleader, and pro wrestling is the most painful.
I totally believe it. I think it's fair. I think this is fantastic. I think it has given you the foundation
Oh yeah.
to truly explode in this business. I mean, I went to Cage Match and I only saw 16 matches. Is that accurate? Are they missing some, or is that accurate? Only 16 matches under your belt.
So I mean, yes, not really. I will say maybe like 22 that people know about. And I had like 12 or 13 practice matches in the PC, like the live events that would be held in the PC in front of our peers.
Got it.
So maybe total like 40 matches. But yeah, that's all. And to me it's honestly about like quality matches, you know? Not even a lot of matches, but good matches, you know? So that's kind of like where I'm at right now. Like I haven't had a lot of matches, but I will say I had 40 matches with quality opponents, you know?
Well, you endeared yourself to the entire Mission Pro family when you showed up at Midsummer Blast, and not talking behind the curtain, but you showed up when you could have said no. You showed up and you really came in a clutch, and that maybe speak a little bit, and without have to get specifics, but how important is it to honor commitments and to be known as dependable in wrestling? Because I mean, to me, that is as important as being a good worker.
Yeah, professionalism is like my number one top priority. And Thunder Rosa is Hispanic, I'm Hispanic, and we were both, I will say, I think, well, no, I know. We were probably both raised, based on loyalty, and loyalty is like something that is very valued in the Hispanic culture. And I will say that's kind of like where that met, if I say that I'm going to do something, that I'm going to do it, you know what I mean? So yeah, and just valuing, the opportunities that I'm getting, and really being a professional, being a professional means so much more than just like showing up and doing the job,
Absolutely. And it develops a reputation that not only bookers appreciate, but other professionals too that are trying to rise up. I definitely see a bit of thunder in you, and you seem like you have the same philosophy of all ships rise with the tide, lifting each other up.
Yeah, I really like connected. That was like the first time that I had met her even in person, but I really connected to her, and like even when her and Izzy had that match, and I just like felt everything like at the end of that match. That whole moment was so beautiful, and I don't regret, coming to the show at all. It was just such a beautiful time, honestly.
It was. There was I had allergies myself, I mean, my
Yeah.
allergies were kicking up. I was totally not crying. Angel Marie, you weren't crying either. That was allergies, right?
I was crying.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't like hugging my mom and absolutely sobbing. I would never do that. No, it was allergies.
I love Thunder Rosa's message at the end too, as do it, be fearless, do it your way, don't take no for an answer. Be your number one fan, and just what Mission Pro has accomplished for women's wrestling, I think is still tremendous, and I'm so excited when Mission Pro is coming back. I've already heard a little bit of the cool things that are coming, and I'm definitely excited.
I'm really excited because I only got to be there once, and it was, unfortunately, it had to be the last show, so I'm ready to come back hopefully every month.
Oh, we'd love to see it. And a good way to secure the guarantee that you're going to come back is to maybe take a certain Mission Pro championship off a certain BFF, Izzy Moreno.
Yes,
so maybe
that ladies' night out.
That ladies' night out. Maybe we need to start talking this up a little bit.
Yeah.
and see if we can get this book. But Carolina Cruz, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. The chat is just really in love with you. They think they're bad. Everybody, the term is badass. And Milo, I think, is now everybody's favorite, though. I think that's the cutie pie of the whole thing. Pepe says only been in one show. Don't feel bad, and don't feel bad, Angel, either. But about crying up. But we can't wait to see you back, and also we'd love to have you back on Mission Pro Spotlight. We're so stoked to have you, and excited about you. I'm excited about your future. What I meant earlier about the only 16 or so matches, in just a small amount of matches, you have impressed so many, and I'm just looking forward to that number just going all the way up. And like you said, quality over quantity, and you're definitely demonstrating it. I mean, that match you had with Camille, yeah, maybe the ending didn't turn out all that as the way you wanted, but I mean, you took on Camille Brickhouse. And she was on. You had her on a roller skate there.
You know, quality over quantity. You know,
you definitely had her on roller skates. You took on a former. You took on the former tag team champ. You took on so many. You took on so many people that are at this level. So we're excited for you, and just want to make sure we got it right. Your socials. I've got. I got your TikTok and your X are about the same, but there's a underscore on your Instagram. Is that correct?
Yes.
So Carolina Cruz era and Carolina Cruz era.
Yes.
And Carolina Cruz era. Don't just tune in for the wrestling. Tune in for the DIY cool stuff.
Yes, to cook with me, clean with me, get ready with me, you know, pack with me for an indie show. What do I have in my bag? Everything.
Any
Especially
challenge?
If you're an indie wrestler, I will be posting tips and tricks because I don't gatekeep.
No gatekeep. I love it. No gatekeeping. Tips and tricks. Who knows? Maybe in 20, 30 years, you might open a school. I mean, that would be pretty cool.
I think that would be something that even Brian would love to do too.
The two of you open a school. That would be awesome. But Monday through Thursday, it's wrestling practice, and then Friday, rugby.
Yes.
Everybody at our school
have a club rugby team. Yeah, that would be super dope.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to hit the gym more often if I'm gonna join that team. If I'm gonna even have a chance of trying out. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us on behalf of Carolina Cruz and Angel Marie. This is Mind Runner. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being on Cruise Control with us. And we'll see you next Thursday. Have a great week.